you, ma'am, for joining us today. And we had a lot of discussion, interaction since morning on various different areas and uh, issues that we dwell into cybersecurity, plus privacy as well, right? But having you here, we can hear how businesses sees this, right? And we talking about decade of the Indian ecosystem where we talk about digital payment ecosystem has gone to a lot of revolutions, and not only with UPI but every bank is. So what we are looking at is like, how do you see the innovation happen in last 10 years time, and especially last 7 years time? Got quite a significant acceleration post COVID. So how do you see that from the business manager perspective?
Yeah, this FINSEC conclave is which year?
This is seventh year, ma'am.
Seventh year. So that itself speaks.
Yeah.
So actually, 10 years back, we at banks, I represent the banking industry, collaborating with fintechs was very, very at a minimal level. So even if we had fintechs coming in, we looked at them with a lot of caution, wondering whether whether we should really onboard them, what are the risks that are involved. But over this last decade, the banking sector, the financial sector has moved at such a rapid pace. Especially, sir, if you see, the government has also been pushing for adoption of digital. The consumer has been pushing for adoption of digital. The digital has made the processes much more smoother, and therefore the fintechs have got a lot of opportunity to innovate, anticipate the customer's needs. Actually, most of them zeroed in on the friction points of the of the manual process and of the human process, and they were able to develop systems which have made the process smoother. Your Amazon is frictionless, your GPay is frictionless. Since I use these two, that's why I am referring to these two. But with our customers also, we find that even our internal systems, our internal investments that we do for the digital, it has made the process for the customer very smooth. So fintechs have had this opportunity, and particularly after COVID, I think it's only a reiteration. COVID was the trigger for everyone to adopt digital. Sometimes when I think, of course, it's very, very personal feeling. It was orchestrated by the tech companies so that everybody moves to digital. Of course, this is something which I feel in my mind, I think of it like that, because that was the turning point for all people to move into digital. And innovation knows no bounds. So it's always you can improve and improve and improve and come out with newer ideas.
So, and good that you mentioned that. So there is certainly inherent requirement. You talked about consumer looking at improving their experience. There's inherent productivity gain that you want to look at.
Definitely.
And also sometimes you try to create new possibilities for business as well.
Yes, yes.
And then these are inherent thing, and there is definitely consumer expectation is one part, but the tech ecosystem also pushed. And in Indian ecosystem, government also pushed us a lot.
Yes,
right?
yes. I think there were a lot of forces. In fact, if you see, the numbers, sheer numbers for my organization, the sheer numbers have increased so much that if I didn't have these technological initiatives and these innovations done, I would not have been able to handle all the transactions coming in. Simple example, if I didn't have an ATMs in place, my people, with all the people that I have, like 210,000 employees, I cannot imagine having to function without an ATM in place. Because all these people will come to the branch. Even despite the digital, forget about the digital part of it where they are not visiting the branch. Only if I stop the ATMs, there will be a big problem for me to service all the customers.
Yeah, so one important part comes with this digitization, where because of lot of fintechs, third party comes in. So there is a term that is been in discuss. The transaction processing is completely unbundled, where even for initiating, onboarding, initiating, enriching, and even processing transaction, and even managing data out of transaction, basically. In all of that, there are a lot of third party that do get engaged and involved, basically. Right?
Yes.
And they they definitely help you reduce the friction, create possibility, but they also bring a lot of security challenges, basically, right?
Definitely.
And how do you still maintain the trust, ma'am? Like, how do you go about looking at still maintaining the trust while one hand the volume and velocity is increasing, on the other hand you have so many players that needs to be taken care of?
See, any organization, the trust is the cornerstone. So, if you see innovations which have happened in fintech, the fintech companies themselves also have to invest what I would say, in building their systems in such a manner that they can garner the trust of their clients. For example, if there is a microfinance institution, then they have to get the trust of their customers that they will not charge usurious rates of interest. So if you are suddenly charging usurious rates of interest, definitely your clientele is going down. Or if you have, methods to tackle the NPA borrowers, if you are using unscrupulous methods for catching hold of the NPA borrowers and recovering the money, then definitely it is going to cause a loss of trust.
Yeah.
So in fact, while coming, I was just reading that this microfinance institution in Kerala, and they have given finances to X party based on the Aadhaar card of the Y party.
Yeah.
And X party has, the Y party who gave their Aadhaar card is now saddled with the payments to be made, and the party who had availed the loan, they have exited out and they have gone, and entire burden is now on the person who gave the Aadhaar card. So I'm sure the MFI knew that they are giving to X based on the credit card, based on the Aadhaar card of Y. So if you're not able to build that trust, then definitely your business is going down.
Yeah, and this is a good example of owning of thing, right?
Yes, yes.
Sometimes you make consumer, because in digital space, the space at which digitization happening, sometimes consumer may not be fully aware of what happens.
Fully aware of what is
and
happening.
they commit the mistake and very mostly unknowingly mistake, basically, right?
I would say it may be knowingly or maybe unknowingly.
Unknowingly, yeah.
You nudge them.
Yeah.
The fintech or the company may just nudge them to take advantage of it.
Yeah. Yeah.
And they fall into the trap. They are very gullible. So they fall into the trap.
Yeah.
Also here, I think customer education, your cyber literacy, financial literacy is at a low level. Even if you ask very senior people in some organizations regarding, what are the pitfalls of the digital space where they are working, you'll find that cyber literacy is much, much lower. Many organizations, we carry out this phishing exercise. Phishing mails are sent as a part of the cybersecurity risk assessment. And many people, despite being knowledgeable, despite being educated, despite being aware, they will open these phishing mails. So people fall into the trap unknowingly. So that cyber literacy and financial literacy, maybe these peer-to-peer lending, as well as the MFIs who are there, they must invest in that customer education if they want to be trusted, and if they are thinking long term, I want to exist long term. Yeah. Then they must have that trust factor and how they are going to manage this trust.
And then large banks had been investing heavily to educate customer and see a lot of those campaigns, SBI or many other
Correct.
large banks are beating the
But
league.
that needs to be an expense at the cost of the financial, these fintechs also.
Yeah.
Because many of them are, for example, these Chinese loan apps.
Yeah.
What happened?
Yeah.
The people are impacted. And then, obviously the people will lose trust on the actual apps which are there, for
Yeah.
supporting
And
them.
these are still early days of defrauding and security issue. But now AI coming in, the things will be so difficult. So how do you see the equation AI will change with respect to the frauds that customer, because all the deepfakes that we talk about and the ability of AI to get hold of all the digital footprint and create the modus operandi. So do you see now that is actually creating new paradigm of how do you manage trust in?
It will be an entirely new paradigm. Entirely new paradigm, because earlier it was, human being you interacted with and you could judge. Here, everything is behind a screen. You cannot see anything which is, say, the AI model that you are using. You don't know what is the, what is the data they have used to create that AI model. If it is, supposing it does not align with India's socio-economic system, and we are using something from a fintech which has, tested it in some other geography, some other socio-economic condition, socio-economic environment, then when they bring it here, it is very likely it may give you very, very different results. And also this deep fake voice phishing which is coming in. I know of one case where my colleague received a call from a fraudster, obviously, saying that your daughter is in the police station,
Yeah.
and she is involved in some drug trafficking or something.
Yeah.
And he actually made him listen to his daughter, hear his daughter on the phone. So luckily we were all there, and we told him, no, you better check with your daughter first. His daughter stays in a hostel.
Yeah.
So then he kept the phone down, and then he called the hostel. The hostel warden said, no, your daughter is in her room.
Yeah.
So somewhere they have captured her voice, and from that voice they have been able to make a deep fake, which this person, your own daughter's voice, you cannot recognize. I mean, you are unable to recognize that, no, it's not my daughter's voice.
Yeah, but so, and then maintaining the trust on digital means would not be that easy with this
Definitely
technology.
not be easy.
Yeah.
Definitely not be easy. And for that, not only the fintechs have to invest to build that trust with their customers or with their, like I am a customer for the fintech, not only to demonstrate it to me, but even I have to, invest in making sure that what that AI fintech is telling me is the right thing that I need.
Yeah.
So both ways there will have to be, investments to make that trust visible.
Yeah. So, ma'am, one area which you are here and you must be listening businesses want to use AI, and that's why now ethics discussion, until now we are not really exposed to ethics a lot, but after AI coming in, ethics started coming in enterprise environment. So how do you make sense of ethics in the context of technology?
Ethics is it's a very nebulous word by itself. What is ethical to me, it may not stand the rigors of a very much more ethical person. What is non-ethical to you, may not be, non-ethical to me. I may have been brought up in such that is acceptable. That is why we find that people, for some it's okay to accept a gift, for someone it is not okay to accept a gift.
Gifts, yeah.
The ethics is built on our culture, on the way we have been brought up and all those issues. That is a physical space.
Yeah.
So physical space, defining ethics becomes very important. It is a thin line between what you will do when no one is watching you.
Yeah.
Now coming to the
Digital.
ethics in AI, the ethics has to be built in right from the time that you are building the system per se.
Yeah.
You will have to have ethical officers, ethical, I would not say officers, but ethical guardrails.
Yeah.
When you are building the model, when you are doing the coding, that ethics has to come in. When you are implementing, then there has to be some guardrails. We have a chief ethics officer in our organization, but if I have to take fintechs on board, then I'll have to look at the ethical, whether the technology that is being brought in by the AI, my third parties,
Yeah.
it stands up to the ethical standards of my organization. So there, I think, in fact, when you raised this question, I thought first thing I'll need more ethics officers,
Yeah.
and that also who are technologically enabled, not the standard ethics what we understand.
Yeah, because most of the ethics officer that we used to have is largely the physical space or
Physical
conventional
space.
idea. But
Yes,
in
yes,
AI,
yes, yes.
when you are adopting all of those global model and building application on top of it, so meaning of ethics, because you may not have much of the control to change the way the model got
Yes.
developed, right? But you have control with respect to how you adopt it,
How you
how you
adopt
deploy it, how you
Yes.
build application on top of
How
it.
you apply.
There,
Also, when you're making that model, the persons who are making that model also should not have their own
yeah,
ethical biases.
yeah,
If I am making a model for, say, a certain segment, and I believe that, only males should do it, or then I will not take into account that, okay, there may be females who come in the process. In fact, I was reading an incident of, it seems Amazon decided that they will have, that if they receive job applications, they will do AI and they will select the best applicants. What do we do now? Now what we do is we subject them to rigor. We interact with them to see, the interview is only to understand your body language, your aptitude, your set of mind, your attitude, this is it. So they said that we will do this and we will take out the best applicants and we will choose them. Now their data was based on 10 years previous data. They had analyzed, okay, these are the 10 years applicants, and out of these applicants, these were the best. They analyzed their 10 years data. Unfortunately or fortunately, the data which they had for 10 years was that most of them were males. The data pertained to males. So the result which came out, okay, males only are suitable for this job in Amazon, which could not be more disastrous.
yeah.
And they shelved this project.
Yeah, so the very interesting, right? When you use the AI, if you don't use AI can allow you now the screws, right? It can help you define key. You also
Yes,
need to
yes,
look
yes.
at diversity in all those things. So, but my one of the important part from the technology user organization perspective, right? So. Uh, Selection of model becomes very important in this case,
Yes,
right?
yes, yes.
How you select it, how you deploy it, and how you use it, basically, right?
Definitely,
So,
definitely, definitely.
and now I'm seeing some of the organizations are using selection criteria.
Selection criteria.
So they select based on the criteria, they select the model, which one is better in the
Better.
context. Yeah.
That will definitely, that is the way forward.
Yeah.
You cannot just, select without knowing which group I'm going to implement it
Yeah.
on, or which is my customer segment. You cannot do that.
Yeah. So, and we heard today as well from one of your colleague on privacy and the effort that we are taking to bring privacy central to the effort, right? We heard from the privacy leaders, we also heard from security leaders, basically, right? Both of discussion on security, in this conference, we always hear CXO or technology provider, but as a business owner, um, how is this relation between the security privacy function with business goals? Is it really friction
Yeah,
centric or friction less? How that relationships is evolving?
yeah. For the security piece, no, I'll come to the privacy piece later, because privacy as a concept is just coming into India
Yeah,
with
yeah,
the DPDPA. But security per se, as a business unit, I would say I would want security to be built by design.
hmm
when you are making the systems, I should have the security features embedded into it. To after the whole system has been made or your own entire product, and then I ask you, you built in this security feature or you built in the other security feature, it is only going to be a patchwork. So the thought process for the fintechs has to be how you can build in security by design. At the design stage itself, security should be.
And then it will definitely remove those frictions of the
Yeah,
patchworks,
yeah,
basically,
yeah,
right?
yeah.
Yeah.
Then it will come to, okay, if this process is creating some friction in my journey, then how do I mitigate that friction
Yeah.
and bring it? Because
But
AI also wants, everything should be smooth
yeah, yeah.
without any, hitches or glitches in between.
But many part of the security also comes of the compliance requirement, right?
Yes,
And
yes.
sometimes compliance could also bring that friction, basically, right?
Yes, compliance will bring in friction. If
Yeah.
your system is not, aligned to the, what is the intent.
Yeah.
Shortcuts are very easy to take. You will get short-term benefit with shortcuts. But in the long term, definitely, I always speak of compliance by design. So when we, in our bank, when we design the products, it goes through the lens of compliance, risk, everyone. So the each and every journey in our digital journey goes through the lens of risk, compliance, how to prevent AML, CFT risks from building in, how to protect that particular product from being used for money laundering, from preventing them from being used for money laundering, and how to adhere to all the compliance principles. So the products are per se, products and process, both in our organization, we do compliance by design.
Yeah.
So for the technical part, it will be, security by design,
Yeah.
as far as possible. It's
Yeah.
not that everything you can take care.
So, ma'am, this is really great to hear you because usually we don't get many opportunity to talk to the business leader like
Business,
you.
yes, yes,
So,
yes.
largely since morning we have been hearing
Yes,
security
yes,
professionals, leaders, technology industry. But that's why we wanted to conclude the day with
Yeah, yeah,
hearing
yeah.
you. And thank you for taking your time.
Thank you.
Any last comment you want to make
Yeah,
to
the
the security?
privacy part.
Yeah.
So, privacy part, if we, right now, it is a challenge for all the banks. And I think all your organizations who are set up stalls here,
Yeah.
as to how they can support the financial sector for the privacy piece. The privacy, as it is, we Indians are very, very slack with our privacy.
Yeah.
Privacy data with our personal data. If someone is staying in Westin, I'm sure you would have given your Aadhaar card to Westin to get a room for you.
Yeah.
If you go to your friend's place, the society guard will ask you, what is your mobile number, what
Yeah.
is your name? And then he will enter it in some register or some system, and then, so in the system it gets recorded. It is out in the cyberspace. So we are very slack with our privacy. And it's a challenge for all the privacy, all the fintechs in the country right now, all the established players as well as the new players, as to how they can support the financial sector in maintaining the privacy. A lot of, what do you say, responsibility is fixed on the fiduciaries, data fiduciaries, and you have to help them to, make it.
Yeah. That's really great message to carry because
Yeah, because I think that's an opportunity
in the
waiting for all your
yeah, yeah,
vendors out
yeah,
here.
yeah. Thank you, ma'am, for
Thank
taking
you
time
so
in
much.
the evening of a busy schedule traffic and also
Thank you,
your
thank you.
commitment. Thanks for again coming. This is the second time for you to be with
Yes,
us.
yes.
Thank you for making that happen. And thank you, overall ecosystem of SBI also help supporting in this journey. Thank you very much, ma'am.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.